Hi guys. Okay, so let's talk about a book that I was actually very surprised by. I don't know, I was really drawn to read this next right after Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I don't know how I did it. I'm like crazy or something, but I read this book in 8 hours. Like I started at 11 and I think I finished by like 7:30 or like 8 o'clock. Yeah. I've just been seeing it everywhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is this one of those books that's like so overhyped and then like it's not good? No, this one was actually good. Like, if you like dark fantasy, like gothic fantasy, you're gonna love this one. It's not too dark. And the spice level is, I'd say like a 2.5 or like a 3 out of 5 if you had to rate it. I feel like spice is like the only one thing I could rate. I'm not gonna rate a book if it's 5 stars or not. Like, that's just dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that ruins rating. But I feel like if I rate the spice level, like, that's different. Do you know what I mean? So I would say this one's like a 2.5. So I'm talking about Phantasma by Kaylie Smith. The writing was exceptional. I'm telling you guys, I hate third person, and I keep finding myself reading books in third person, and it just really upsets me because it really detaches me from the book. But I don't know what she did with this one, but I was attached to the story, even in third person. I don't know, like the way she just told it was, it felt very like first person, even though it was third person. So that's like a talent, honestly. So good. This one's like 492 pages, I think. This is my library version of it. Yeah, 492 pages. You guys, it was so good. I'd say go buy this if you're in the mood to go buy a book. This is totally not the season to be reading this. This would have been perfect for Halloween. I would have loved reading that for Halloween. Okay, but let me tell you about it. So Phantasma, so spoilers ahead if you haven't read it. Or if you haven't read it and you want to get spoiled, just keep watching. Ophelia is the main character. Ophelia and her sister Genevieve live in Grimm Manor because their last name is Grimm and they live in Louisiana and they live in a manor. And so their mom, like, all of a sudden dies, right? And they have no idea why. Mind you, they live in a very, not ghoulish, but they live in a, what is the word? They live in a reality where, like, they know vampires and demons and poltergeists and ghosts are real, right? So anyways, her mom just unexpectedly dies. And then they come to find out that their house, their family has a large amount of debt, like $50,000 that they need to pay off in 1 month. And if they don't, they're going to be homeless. So if I were them, I'd be like freaking the hell out. So they're freaking out, justifiably so, because they have to make $50,000 in a month. And so Genevieve and Ophelia kind of get into an argument, and Ophelia feels really bad, and then she has no idea where Genevieve is, right? And her mom told them, since they were little, do not be out on the streets past sunset. Like, do not be out in the dark, because like the ghosts or whatever, they'll try to like control you, blah blah, right? So that was that. And so she goes back to the house, and she's like crying because she's like didn't want to upset her sister, and then she doesn't want to be out past so and so whatever time. And then she finds a letter that Genevieve left, saying basically like, if everything goes to plan, I'll be back in like 2 weeks. Like, don't look for me. And she's like, fuck. Ophelia's like, oh my god. Mind you, Genevieve's the little sister, right? Or is Genevieve the older sister? No, I think Genevieve's the younger sister. I don't remember. And I just read it. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Anyways, So Ophelia doesn't know what else to do. So Ophelia goes through Genevieve's diary. Maybe it'll give her like some clues, right, as to like where she might have gone. She doesn't know. Like she's trying everything, right? So she goes to check, and she sees the Phantasma slip from the newspaper. And Phantasma is like this thing that goes around to like every state. It's like a competition, like to the death. The winner gets like a whatever you want, basically, like this huge prize of like whatever you want, and they can like give it to you anyways, but at like a huge cost of like everyone dying. But if you survive, then you've already paid the cost, right? Anyways, so she's like, no, there's no way that Genevieve went to Phantasma, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, she finds herself in Phantasma because she doesn't know if Genevieve's there or not. But Genevieve has left enough clues that maybe she is there in Phantasma, and she has gone to seek out a way to pay off this debt for their family, right? Ophelia asks the people in Phantasma, hey, is my sister here? Like, I want to know if she's here. But the rules are that they are not allowed to share what contestants' names are there until you get to like level 7, which by that point you might as well just finish off the game because there's only 9 levels. It's also based off of like the 9 circles of hell, so there's a lot of crazy shit that goes down in the competition. Very dark fantasy type of stuff. And so she's like, I guess like this is the only way, but there's enough clues for me to believe that my sister's here, so I'm just gonna grin and bear it. And so she does it. And so she gets help. There's no way she would have passed the contest if it wasn't for this phantom. That's his name. If it wasn't for this phantom that she meets, named Blackwell. I know what a perfect name, right? Blackwell guides her through everything. He guides her through the haunts. He guides her through each level and how to win it. And basically, everyone thinks that Ophelia is a witch, that she's a demon, because she has these abilities that she can face through walls. She can be transparent. She can be invisible. She can talk to demons and talk to devils. And she has like this bond with like the dark side that kind of merged with her once she took her mother's powers after her mom died. But they're still trying to figure out like, how did her mom die like of a heart attack, right? It's like very weird. Come to find out, that spoilers ahead. The reason why her mom died so abruptly was because her father was in Phantasma doing this one level that tied to someone outside of the game that you loved very much, like so deeply, like the person you love the most. And so for her dad, Gabriel, it was the mom, and he chose wrong. The level was basically like the level showed you like two versions of your lover or whatever, the person you love most, and then you have to choose which one's right, which one's wrong, which one's the real one. He chose wrong, and it literally killed her in the real world, in the real life. And so for Ophelia, her level was her sister. Right after she had found her sister too in the competition, and right after her sister had forfeited too, which she would be able to still live out in the outside world. But the thing is, that level was like, it don't matter that she forfeited now. You need to get this level right, Ophelia, or your sister dies out in the real world. Because there was 2 doppelgangers, and there's supposed to be one that was real. And Ophelia was really asking like really good questions, like, how do you know who's the real one? Like, that's always fascinated me. Like, how do you know which one's the real one? You know, like, it depends on a case-by-case scenario, but like, how do you know which one's the real one? Like, blah, blah, blah. So she asked a really good question, and it led her into finding the answer that none of them was the real Ophelia. And she passed. None of them were the real Genevieve. None of them were her real sister. And so she passed. And then the craziest twist happened. Blackwell was fooling her this whole time, manipulating her. He was the creator of Phantasma this entire time. Somewhat. His father technically was, but he, like, technically was too. If you read the story, you know what I mean. Oh my God. She ends up making a deal with him that she just like loves him so much that she just the thing is, you're not allowed to fall in love in Phantasma. Fortunately, she does with Blackwell, even after this betrayal or whatever. She still loves him. And Blackwell's like, oh my God, no, like, stop. Like, you're being ridiculous. Like, please do not say you're in love with me. She says it. She don't care. She gets cursed by Phantasma because you're not supposed to be in love. And then more of the backstory. Just read the book. I'm not going to go over it. But he was like, look, I need a lot of magic in order to heal your curse, but I can heal it only one way. And the only way I can do it is if you agree to be in partnership with me for eternity. Like, you don't have to be around me forever, for every single moment and forever. You can go on and live your life, but you're kind of bound to me for forever. Does that make sense? Like, you have to be alive for an eternity. And he was like, I don't think you know how long an eternity is, but it's pretty fucking long. She goes, yeah, I'll do it. Other than that, you guys, the book was good. And then the next book comes out next year. It's called Enchantra. And I already saw the cover. It looks good. And I think it's going to be about Genevieve's story and like how she survived the contest, whatever, without Blackwell. I wonder if she used one of the other devils, Sinclair. I don't know. But Ophelia's character was very, very, very tied to the dark side. And she just like got along with them really well. And she knew how to like not let them walk over her. She knew how to set boundaries with them. And I found the greatest theme in the book was your inner demon, because she has this inner voice that is always telling her to do like the scariest, most wildest shit. Like I feel like a lot of people have this, like in reality, the voice was telling, she calls it the shadow voice. And for a second, I thought that shadow voice was actually going to be Blackwell, but it wasn't him. Like when it manifested into actual reality, I thought it was going to be Blackwell all along, that it was her shadow voice, but it wasn't. I thought that would have been really cool. I don't know why, but I guess she didn't want to, I guess Kaylie Smith didn't want to take it there. Anyways, the shadow voice was basically telling her like, if you don't knock on the door 3 times, your family's gonna die. If you don't knock on the wood right now 3 times, he's gonna die. Like all these, like that kind of dark voice. And so I feel like a lot of people have that. And that was probably like the most realistic part of the book. And the whole book, like that voice was like bothering her. And I really love that aspect that the author included that into her character arc. But she kind of gets over it. Like I think after Blackwell like does that bond with her or whatever, like I think the shadow voice is gone. Like, am I tripping or what? You can tell me in the comments. But oh my God, I gotta go. But yeah, I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I literally sat down and did nothing but read the book all day. This was 2 days ago, and I really enjoyed it. I'm halfway through Youth Juice by E.K. Safu, and I think I'm going to do a review on it. I think I can finish it in a couple days, because this is the beginning of my work week now, so I'm not going to have like so much time to read it, but I'm going to try to get it done as fast as I can, just because it's not that big of a book, but I'm like kind of already halfway done. So that was Phantasma by Kaylie Smith. I really enjoyed it. It's not that dark. It's like, honestly, like, I would say you have to be like 18 or over to read it, just because of the spice in it. Anything spice, like you have to be 18 or over to read it. Like it's just, I don't think you should be reading that. Even though I was reading 50 Shades at like 17, that doesn't matter. Like, I still would not recommend reading that at that age. It's just like, you're just, no. So I would recommend you checking it out. It was really, really good. Phantasma by Kaylie Smith.